Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing an 8-4 Magic Origins draft. Be sure and check out Dennis from Windmill Slam and my draft, the Legacy Cube draft we did, number 65. And hopefully we'll be collaborating more often. Alright, so the pack. We've got Leaf Gilder. I think this pack is pretty much just Leaf Gilder versus War Oracle. And I'm kind of leaning towards War Oracle. It's a little more color committal, but Leaf Gilder's pretty nice for, ramping into some big fat fatties, as well as being a pretty solid 2-drop. Just a beater as well as a ramper is pretty nice. I probably still just go for War Oracle. This card is pretty insane. It's a really nice way to get back into a game. The lifelink and all. I think we'll take the 4-drop here. Okay, follow-up pick. Well, to stay on color, we'd take the Flare. I think we want the Wardens, though. Wardens are very strong. And there's nothing else too insane in here. I mean, there's some matchups where Flare is pretty terrible, but Wardens is even more appealing because we already have a Renown pick. And green-white beats, very good. Archetype. So I think we'll just take the Wardens here pretty happily. Okay, pretty nice pickup here. We're going to stay on color with our first 2 picks and take the Somberwald Alpha. There's also clear the forward order in here, and Eva's Force Mage, and Ravaging Blaze is a very strong card, but Somberwald Alpha is just a really nice pickup, especially with 2 Renown guys already. It's pretty nice. Okay, so we've got Elvish Visionary, Enshrouding Mist, Wild Instincts, all of which are good. I think we probably want the Wild Instincts. It's a pretty nice removal spell. Visionary and Enshrouding Mist are both very good. Enshrouding Mist, especially since we already have a couple of Renown guys, but Wild Instincts is straight up removal, and removal that works exceptionally well with both War Oracle and Wardens. So, certainly seems like the correct pick there. Okay, options now. Well, Rune Servitor would be our first 2-drop. Eva's Force Mage tends to work really well with Renown. Those are the only 2 real picks I think I'm considering here. So, 2-drop creature versus Force Mage. It's pretty interesting. You can never really have enough 2-drop creatures. Rune Servitor tends to be a little bit, I feel like, underwhelming in a green-white deck, just because in green and white you have better creatures to look forward to, but it is, being a mana cheaper than Force Mage is certainly significant. I think I'm still going to go for the Force Mage here. Cut green. Alright, now it's Grasp versus Titanic Growth, both of which are very good. I think I'm actually going to go for the Titanic Growth. Not even 100% we're in white yet. We only have 1 white card. Granted, it's good, but we are definitely solidified in green. So let's just take a Titanic Growth because it's a great card. Okay, now we get the Might of the Masses, which I'm going to take over pretty much Mighty Leap and Alchemist Vial. Majoring Bully actually seems like a pretty good card for a green-white deck too, with cards like Might of the Masses and Titanic Growth, but we're definitely taking Might here. Just really nice to have. Okay. I mean, could go for the Deadbridge Shaman. It's a pretty late Deadbridge Shaman, actually, and I think it's better than Dragon Fodder. Certainly more exciting than Recluse. Not that Recluse is horrible, it's just not the most exciting pick. I think I'm going to go Deadbridge Shaman here. Yeah, we could have a little mini elf theme going, possibly. More exciting than Dragon Fodder, I think. And I mean, I could take the Recluse. It's actually pretty good with Wild Instincts, but I don't love it. I think Shaman's probably better. We'll see. Okay, now there's a pretty late Grasp with a Hieromancer, or Alchemist Vial, both of which are pretty good. I think I'm actually going to take the Grasp here, though. That's a really late Grasp. Don't really care about these cards so much. I guess we'll take the Elf. Active Treason something for the Steel and Sack deck, I guess. And Sidearm is playable, but never really too exciting. We'll take the Thornbow Archer, I guess. Take a Guardians. I guess we actually take the Aesthetic. In case we end up in white. It's a late turn to Frog. Jeez. Take Automaton, I guess. Valor. I think we'll take that over a Negate. Sure. Night Snare. So pretty successful pack 1 in terms of going deep in green. We don't exactly know what we're doing yet in terms of our second color. So basically just trying to figure out what we want our second color to be. I think we're going to slam a Leaf Gilder here. Just a great card. Despoiler's not terribly exciting. And nothing really good in white for us. I think Impulse is a pretty strong red card, though. But we'll still take Leaf Gilder, absolutely, since we're 100% playing it. And it's just a really nice card to have. Okay, Gideon's Phalanx is a 7-drop. Which is, I mean, it's a pretty strong 7-drop. There's also another Leaf Gilder, though. Which I think is still very good. It's not insane for our deck because our curve is relatively low. But, I mean, Phalanx is pretty good, but it's not, like, busted. And I'd rather play, like, a green-white beatdown deck rather than, like... I mean, basically, I think Phalanx is good, but I think Leaf Gilder is going to be a little more consistently good. And I think Leaf Gilder is probably better than Celestial Flare, too, seeing as it's, like, a Goblin Piker that ramps that's an irrelevant creature type. Like, especially if we end up in black, having all these elves is going to be really beneficial. I'm just going to take the elf. Titanic Growth number 2, Stalwart Aven, as well as Charging Griffin and Foundry of the Consuls. All of which are good. I could just take Stalwart Aven. My white is still currently better than my black. Black just is possibly synergistically better if we end up with elf-centric effects like Eyeblight Massacre or something. Foundry of the Consuls is always good. I do love that card. But I think Stalwart Aven might just be something that moves us a little bit deeper into white. Otherwise, the second Titanic Growth maybe is fine too, but we'll take the Aven. I think we're going to try and make white work here. We'll try. So now it's Celestial Flare, probably just taking that, which is just fine. Good removal. Nothing else too crazy in here. Throwing Knife is good. Throwing Knife maybe arguably is better than Celestial Flare, actually, now that I think about it. And especially in a deck like this, that, like, we're going to be short on... They're both removal spells, but Throwing Knife is a little bit added versatility. I think I actually like Throwing Knife more than Flare, just based on my experience in this format. Overall, there's certainly quite a few matchups where Flare is an unexciting card, or a card it's difficult to time, whereas Throwing Knife, I think, is actually just good. I mean, in any deck, pretty much. If you know me, you know I don't love the Charging Griffin, but we can go deep on Titanic Growth, so I'm okay with that. We're going to need quite a few creatures, but I like playing the pump deck. I don't have a problem with that. Guess we take Mighty Leap. I don't love it, though. It's a pretty late Fetid Imp. Probably don't need a second Ascetic. Although, if I have to, I'd main deck him, I guess. I think we'll take the Imp. Kind of feel like we're getting cut now, which I don't love. Could take the Archer. Yeah, I guess. Go back to maybe a more... See, the problem with Black-Green Elves, if you don't have themed elf cards, it's not great. I certainly felt like we got cut out of white this pack, though. Let's take the Archer here, just in case. Recluse now. Yeah, this doesn't really strike me as the Shadows of the Past deck so much. It's not that Shadows of the Past is bad, but we're a trick-heavy deck, which I think makes Shadows of the Past quite a bit worse. It's not that Recluse is very good either, though. But nor is Returned Centaur or Guardians, really. Maybe I do take Shadows. I just don't love the idea of, well, we got past one anyway. I'm going to take the Caterpillar here. I could theoretically main deck that, but for now I would prefer not to. Macabre Waltz seems like something I could use. I guess Dark Dabbling too, but we'll take the Waltz. Well, we get a Dabbling anyway. All right. Now I feel like we're gonna be black again, I think, but we'll see. We're still, I guess, sort of weighing our options, but it definitely felt like white dried up pretty quick there. We got these. We only got 4 cards out of 2 packs, whereas, okay, well, maybe we have to just basically go green-black. Not that that's bad. I don't have an issue with that. And we've got a very low curve at the moment. I guess that makes the Leaf Gilder slightly worse, but it also makes the idea of running 16 lands a bit more realistic. Wow, Pact. I wish I could play Pact. Pact doesn't strike me as a card we can easily get rid of. I do have Caterpillar, but having 1 card basically to get rid of Pact makes it a lot less attractive here. Whereas Empath is a nice way to get card advantage. There's also Eyeblight Assassin and Read the Bones. So good options overall. I might just want the Empath. Card advantage is typically good, especially when you've got a good amount of tricks and a good low curve. I think we're going to take the Empath. I think I slightly like it more than Read the Bones, especially in a deck that's got Might of the Masses and Combat Tricks and Macabre Waltz and stuff like that. I think Assassin, there's a decent argument for Assassin too, because it's good against us. Maybe I'd take the Assassin. I don't actually know. That's a tough one to weigh. I think we're going to take the Assassin. I mean, just looking at a pack that's got Anointer in it and the fact that we're running a couple Leaf Gilders, it seems like Eyeblight Assassin will be good for us. And yes, Demonic Pack's worth some tickets, but we're playing an 8-4, so we got to make sure that we've got a nice build here. All right, probably just taking second Wild Instincts. It's a good removal spell. And I guess Might of the Masses #2 would be acceptable too. I don't love Malakir Callblade very much, but Wild Instincts #2 is a welcome sight. Wow, Instincts #3 now? I guess. We need some creatures, but hopefully we can find them. There we go. There's a nice little reward. We're going to take a second Wardens here. Over Visionary, yeah. That's just fine. Wardens is looking nice. All right, Shaman of the Pack. Here we go. So here's an actual elf reward, which I like quite a bit for our deck now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 elves and 8 with the Shaman. It's a good elf count. I'm feeling good about that. Deadbridge Shaman #2. Here we go. All right, well, starting to get in business here. Let's cut the Dark Dabbling, I think. Slightly underwhelming card in general. Would prefer to not play Shadows of the Past either at the moment, but we'll definitely take Deadbridge Shaman #2. That's nice. Thornbow Archer #3, I guess. I mean, we're trying to go deep on elves. We have probably enough combat tricks to support Thornbow Archers, as well as a relatively low curve. Probably cut Shadows of the Past. Could cut Macabre Waltz instead. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's okay. All right, Thornbow Archer #2. Veteran Sidearm versus probably not making this deck, to be honest. So let's just hate the best card, which I think is Aspiring Aeronaut. I think out of here, Titan Strength's the card we fear the most. Granted, Chandra's Fury does kill a few things, like Leaf Gilders, and Deadbridge Shamans. So there's quite a few things that it kills, but it doesn't kill the Archers. Although, I guess we don't fear the Titan Strength very much either. Well, Titan Strength's just the better card, though. I think we'll take it. Touch of Moonglove actually seems like something we're going to play in here. with triple Thornbow Archer. I think I'm going to cut the Shadows of the Past. Even though we have probably enough creatures to support it, I'd rather just have a Touch of Moonglove as a little death touch. Like, I'm willing to 2-for-1 myself to take care of a big threat as long as Thornbow Archer, does some work for us in the beginning. Right now, I am satisfied with the way this deck looks right now. We have a very good elf theme with the Shaman of the Pack. With 2 Shaman of the Pack, it would have been pretty nuts, but that's okay. 4 Thornbow, we probably play 4 Thornbow Archer and just cut an Automaton. Or maybe we just run 16 lands, actually, now that I think about it. Revelation. I mean, quad Thornbow Archer is pretty insane. I don't actually think Thornbow Archer is very good, but it's certainly good with Throwing Knife, double Titanic Growth, Might of the Masses, Touch of Moonglove, Force Mage even, triple Wild Instincts. Like, we've got some pretty good stuff going on with this deck, actually. Yeah, I think second Shaman of the Pack would have just made this deck off the charts good. But I think we're going to run it like this, actually. Automaton's kind of an underwhelming creature in this deck just because we're trying to be more beatdown, but I guess with double Leaf Gilder we can make it work just fine, and it's a good Wild Instincts target. It's more exciting, I think, than main decking a Caustic Caterpillar, mostly because we just really don't fear Claustrophobia or Suppression Bonds so much in this deck. It seems like something that's too slow. Even Fetid Imp seems a bit unexciting for us. It does evade, which is nice, but it's a bit unexciting because we're trying to be more hyper aggro, and it's going to be tough to be hyper aggro if we don't have some high power creatures. But we do have some excellent 3-drops. Double Wardens, double Deadbridge Shaman, triple Wild Instincts. I think this deck looks good. I think it's legitimately good. Even Infernal Scarring is something I could consider, but I'd probably rather do Touch of Moonglove over that. I could consider Infernal Scarring over like an Automaton, but let's keep our creature count relatively high, I think. So I think I'm going to run it like this. This deck's pretty good. It turned out to be a pretty decent little elf deck. I think Shaman of the Pack is going to be a heavy hitter, I'm hoping. So yeah, we're trying to be hyper aggro. I think we certainly got enough combat tricks to support that. Might of the Masses, double Titanic Growth, Touch, and triple Wild Instincts. Yeah, this is a pretty nice looking 16 lander. I think we top out at 4 with a grand total of what, 3 or 4 4-drops. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Not to mention we have double Leaf Gilder for ramp. So yeah, I think I'm comfortable with this. Probably, well, it looks like we're fairly even on green and black. No double color, which is just amazing. I think we're just going to do an even split, which they want to go higher green, which I don't agree with. I think we just do even split 8-8 because we really want to, we want to hit Thornbow Archers turn 1, but we also need to see green on turn 2 to support Leaf Gilder. I guess hitting those Thornbow Archers is pretty much a priority, but another issue is, like, we have more green spells than black, so basically we need to see both colors, so I think 8-8 is what we want to do. Not hitting a turn 1 Archer, I guess, is going to be a pretty big deal, though. Do I feel comfortable going 9 black, 7 green? Maybe I should. Like I said, not hitting Archer on turn 1 is a big deal, but being able to do double combat trick in the same turn is also equally important. I think we got to be satisfied with 8-8. We're running more green spells than black. It's just we need black early, so I think that's just a good argument to go 8-8. Okay, yeah, I like this deck. Looking cool. I don't run 16 lands too terribly often, so kind of a rare spawn there. But let's give this deck a try and see what we can do. See you round 1.